pull up our stuff. Liam, are you ready for us to go live?
Yep, I will press the button now.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the East Lansing Arts Commission meeting for May. We had a beautiful day, and we're going to go ahead and do our roll call. If it is okay, I'm going to call on you just so I don't miss anyone going forward. And if you could just remind to everyone, just let us know where you're zooming in from. That would be great. So I am Laura Scales, she, her, hers, and I am zooming in from Southfield, Michigan. Karen?
I'm Karen Jennings, zooming in from East Lansing, Michigan.
Awesome. Abby?
Abigail Taikaki, she, her, hers, zooming in from East Lansing, Michigan.
Amazing. Wendy?
I'm Wendy Sylvester Rowan, zooming in from East Lansing, Michigan.
Awesome. Jesse?
I'm Jesse Gregg. I'm attending virtually from East Lansing, Michigan, Ingham County.
Ingham County. Allie?
I'm Allie Ciardo, zooming in from East Lansing, Michigan.
Great. Austin?
Austin Pabian, zooming in from East Lansing, Michigan.
Wonderful. Barbara?
Barbara Wargis, zooming in from East Lansing, Michigan.
Thank you. Ben?
Ben Van Dyke, zooming in from Lansing, Michigan.
Awesome. Gabrielle?
Gabby Kindig, zooming in from East Lansing, Michigan.
Wonderful. Heather?
Heather Mahano, zooming in from Lansing, Michigan.
And then Liam is here running our stream tonight, and we thank him as well as the closed captioners. So Liam, if you're able, can you split our screen with our agenda today so we can take a look? Excellent. So has everyone had a chance to review this agenda? Great. Awesome. Is anyone motion to approve the agenda for today or would like to make any changes to the agenda?
Karen Jennings, move to accept the agenda as presented.
Wonderful. Anyone second?
I second Wendy Sylvester Rowan.
Thank you, Wendy. All right, all in favor, please say aye and raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All
Aye.
opposed, please say nay. All right, any abstentions? Excellent. All right, our agenda is approved. Let us go forth with our email our agenda, our minutes from last month. Has everyone had a chance to read the minutes from last month? Does anyone have any corrections? Oh. Thank you for pulling those up. Any corrections? All right, then does someone move to approve the minutes?
I, Allie Ciardo, move to approve the April minutes.
April minutes, thank you. Anyone second?
Second, Ben Van Dyke.
Thank you, Ben. All right, all in favor, please raise your hand and say aye. All in favor of approving the minutes, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All opposed, please raise your hand and say nay. All right, any opposition? Any abstention? Wonderful. We are approved. Thank you all so much. All right. We are going to get started with my remarks today. I'm just making sure I have our agenda up with all of our things. Hi, y'all. So thank you again, Liam. I wanted to let all of you know that I accepted a new job. I'm moving to Metro Detroit. I'm going to be the executive director of Living Arts Detroit, which does arts programming for the children of Detroit, specifically those in Southwest Detroit. So it focuses on Black and Brown youth. So I am selling a house. It goes on the market tomorrow, hence the crazy week, and will no longer be able to be on the East Lansing Arts Commission, which has been such a point of pride and joy and happiness. So I wanted to let all of you know and thank you, as we have been through so much together. And by we, I mean the whole iteration, from Karen and Jesse all the way to our newest members. So I just wanted to thank all of you for that. I'm excited about all of our things today, especially that mural, to get going. And then Heather, I know that you know procedurally, I didn't know if you wanted to pop in with a procedure for after my departure from the commission.
Oh, yeah. So I'm planning on you leading the meeting today. Is that still okay?
Yes.
Just confirming. At next month's meeting, we'll hold a chair election. If you so happen to nominate your current vice chair as the chair, then we will also hold a vice chair election, but on the agenda, it will just say a chair election like we do at the beginning of the year. And Wendy, as the vice chair, will be leading that meeting until the new chair is elected.
Is awesome. Thank you so much for updating us on all of that. So I will miss y'all deeply, but gosh, the amount of stuff that we have done is phenomenal. So without further ado, unless there are questions, then I was going to move on to remarks from our vice chair.
I would just like to make a comment. It's Karen. Congratulations, Laura, on your new job. That's exciting. Detroit wins by having you.
Thank you.
So wishing you all the best with that, and thank you for your service to the Art Commission. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely has been a pleasure. It was wonderful meeting you. It's been phenomenal seeing you lead the meetings with your smile, your calm demeanor. You're very calm, cool, and collected, and it's really been fantastic. But the organization you are joining I read all about it. My God, it's so perfect. It's such a perfect fit, and they will be all the better for your presence. So thank you, Laura.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and leaving academia. Who'd have thought? Here we go. So thank y'all for that. So we'll do the handoff, and yeah, and tomorrow you'll see a house go up, and beautiful, gorgeous, heart of Spartan Village. Wonderful. All right, Wendy, did you have remarks as?
I'm wondering, Heather, is there anything specific I'm supposed to touch base on? I apologize, sorry.
Oh, that thing that I sent you in your email and I said, read this one.
Yes, hold that thought. Come back to me in 3 seconds.
Excellent. I will fill the time doing a tap dance. I'm so sorry.
I can give my tribute to Laura. That I'm super bummed that you're leaving.
Okay.
I'm gonna come visit you down in Detroit, though.
Please.
Yeah, let me know if your kids need to learn how to sew. We'll teach.
I need to relearn how to sew.
Yeah,
Dex.
We'll have them taking over the world with fashion expression. It'll be great.
Will Laura get a fancy proclamation, and will she return to receive it even if she's not leading the meeting?
Hold that thought, Abs. I'm on
Okay. Okay.
it. Okay.
Sorry, I should have known. I should have picked up on the context clues there. My bad.
Wendy dropping the ball. Okay, East Lansing Arts Commission proclamation. Whereas Laura Scales served on the East Lansing Arts Commission for the past 18 months, and whereas Laura's vision played an essential role in a wide range of projects, including but not limited to: number one, distribution of $27,500 in cultural arts grants. Number two, brought Keith Sicola Jr. to East Lansing to host a workshop and demonstration at Scene Metro Space and selected a piece for the city's collection. Number three, funded artist awards for the East Lansing Art Festival. Number four, supported the daytime, nighttime, anytime plays project downtown East Lansing with a $10,000 sponsorship from the Public Art Fund. Number five, implementation of Ordinance 1339, known as the Percent for Art Ordinance, which has secured more than $250,000 in donations from private developers and contributions from the city of East Lansing to be used for public art purchases, and has resulted in over $160,000 worth of public art being installed in private developments, including implementation of the theater in the Bailey Housing Project, installation of a sculpture at the Provision Living Assisted Living Development, installation of the Reaction sculpture for the 565 East Grand River Avenue project, installation of the Lauren Asta mural on the Center City development, and number six, developed, designed, and gave approval to the Greetings Tour, Greetings from East Lansing mural. Number seven, revised the cultural arts grant guidelines and ensured Arts Commission processes were equitable and open to all. Number eight, supported and approved the downtown mural in the Albert Avenue parking garage. Whereas Laura's willingness to serve has elevated the standard for the Arts Commission, and now therefore the commissioners of the City of East Lansing Arts Commission hereby proclaim, number one, that Laura's dedication to the Arts Commission is hereby recognized with great gratitude, and she will sincerely be missed by this commission. And number two, that Laura's valuable insight, expertise, and passionate regard for the arts and cultural opportunities in East Lansing will have a lasting impact on the health and vibrancy of the community. And number three, that the commission truly wishes Laura the very best success in her future endeavors. There we
Thank
are.
y'all.
Laura, that's really something, right? It really is. That's just, it's
A lot.
quite a list.
It is a huge list. And I am appreciative. I'm appreciative, y'all. Thank you.
We're appreciative.
That's-
So sad to see you go.
But now I get to watch from afar and come back when we dedicate this amazing mural and watch all of you soar. Soar indeed. Thank you, Wendy. Wendy, did you have anything else to add as your chairperson?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Any other commissioners would you like to report, give updates, thoughts?
I would like to just say one quick thing. Not to be a total bummer, but I did want to report that I have been reaching out to our friends at Pinkana for the past few meetings, trying to get an update to report out to all of you. And they have ceased communications with me, and I haven't figured out why, short of, walking into their store and saying, what's going on? So I just wanted everyone to know that I haven't fallen down on my responsibilities there. I just haven't been able to get any communication or answers from them. That's all.
Hopefully they'll resurface shortly, and they're just in a momentary hold as we go forward. Other commissioners, anything to update or report?
I have maybe a quick something just to keep in mind. So I know I saw the Graduate Hotel and the chalk thing on the list. They also are looking for small local businesses for pop-up shops. And actually, Jesse, I told them I might give them your name since you're connected in all of that. But if anybody knows small business owners that could do a pop-up shop in collaboration with the Graduate Hotel, there's an opportunity there too.
Cool. Yeah, I am pretty willy-nilly with my phone number, so go ahead and I can help them definitely with the fiber community, but also probably some crossover with other artists. And I can put him in touch with Adam Cummins, and he can get the whole list from the people that had booths at the underground market as well, which is probably
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Good. I'll email them your information.
Perfect. Sounds
And
great.
Just so you, Ellie and Jesse both know, I'm also in communication with them about pop-up artists for
Oh,
their.
good. Is it Abby Joyce?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, then I'll just let Heather handle it then.
I mean, Jesse's a good community contact because she actually could be a pop-up. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could do. So Heather, have you reached out to Megan at the Arts Council for chalk artists? Because I think Old Town has done a chalk festival like many times.
Yeah, I reached out to the Old Town Chalk Fest folks. I went to their 2019
Chalk up the town
entry page on their Facebook, and they don't have any of the artists listed with any of the art. And so I wrote them a note and was like, hey, who are these artists? I'm looking for chalk artists. And no, that was 2 days ago and no one's responded. So yeah, Megan is my next step, but I was hoping because it wasn't through the Arts Council, it's through.
Was it the Old Town Business Association?
Yeah. Yeah. So
I can nudge Summer and see if she'll answer something. Yeah, that's disappointing of them.
Yeah, I was a little bummed, but all hope is not lost yet.
Yeah.
Amazing. Other commissioner reports or thoughts?
I'll just add something very quickly. There's been some movement on the Science Gallery project that I brought to you all a few months ago. Thank you, Heather, for helping me out with this. You gave me some great information. I passed it. So basically what happened is that now the details of the project are more concrete, and we still have some time. But we got I got more details. I shared them with Heather. I asked Heather, now what? And she gave me like this fantastic bulletproof, bulleted list, also bulletproof. And I shared that back. And so they're gonna whittle their way down that list. And when they do, I'll bring it back to y'all.
And when are we talking for that?
I'm sorry?
When are we talking? What date? What are the dates for?
It's September something.
I'm so sorry, I spoke over you. September, is that what you said?
Yeah, September?
September, got ya, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's in September, which means that by the next month's meeting, then a lot of these details will be a little more concrete, so that the project can, be underway in August, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Wendy?
Sorry, I did think of one last thing. I neglected to mention last week we had a walk through the city with Monica from the Broad, Peter Dewan from the DDA, and Morgan Butt from the Broad as well, looking at different places downtown, and Adam Cummins from the city, looking at places downtown that more art could be placed, either from the Kresge collection, outreach from the Broad, a partnership with the city. And there are so many places, so many nooks and crannies that we can slide things in. It was a phenomenal walk, and I think there was excitement because there were ideas that were being generated. I don't know exactly what will come to fruition, but regardless, I feel like it was a positive thing. And the more collaboration we do, I think the further, the reach will be. So that was a small little FYI.
Awesome. More art everywhere. That's it. Just more art. Any other commissioners would like to add anything? Okay, why don't we go ahead to our council liaison. I'm sorry I skipped over you, Jesse.
Oh, that's all right. Let's see. We are slogging through the budget slowly but surely. That is going to come to council on Tuesday for whatever happens, that's the last chance for edits until, you know, something's gonna be passed on Tuesday. And so that's been a really long process with a lot of really long meetings. I think glad to see the back of it, but it's been good. We still don't have, there's a lot of kind of community buzz about this grant that we're getting from the feds, the federal aid. I can't remember exactly what the name is of the package that's coming down. I have not heard anything different than the original estimate, which was around somewhere in the range of about $12 million, coming in 2 different kind of dispersals, one the end of this month and then 12 months from now at the end of next May. And then we don't have to spend it all right away. We can wait on some of it. So there's been a little bit of guidance about what is appropriate for that and what's not. We can't just use it to plug holes wherever we want. Like we couldn't, you know, it would be sort of delightful to just drop the whole packet into our pension fund, but we cannot do that. That is one of the things we cannot spend it on. So we kind of have to sort of carefully look at where the gaps are. We can use it to backfill lost revenue, which we definitely have that pretty critically in several big departments. So I imagine that we would probably see that at least proposed. We'll see how that goes through. Infrastructure is another thing that's been indicated that we can use that for. We certainly have a lot of infrastructure that could use upgrading. So I don't think it'll be anything super glitzy. I think it's going to be pretty practical, honestly, because, you know, we can absorb a lot of money in very practical ways. And then we'll just kind of see. So the budget that we're passing on Tuesday does not have anything, is not relying on that fund in any way. It's a balanced budget based on non-COVID money. So that 12 million is still sort of sitting in a side pool as of right now. I did get to sit in on the mural process. We'll talk about that soon when we get to the agenda item. Sorry, long week. It was, you know, it's nice to see. So we've been operating kind of short-staffed on the art selection panel. We've had a couple of meetings where there's like only been 2 people, and it's really been, you know, it's always a slog, I guess, but it was really, we've got a full complement. We've got people with fine art backgrounds. We've got artists, you know, working artists. We've got art professors. It really is a very good body to be making those selection processes. And then the submissions that we got for the downtown mural were just flat out fabulous. I would put any one of them on any blank wall in town. So they had a real hard, you know, half of their deliberation was like, well, I like them all. Anybody else want to say anything? You know, so it was kind of hard to whittle it down to one. But then I guess the significant factor for me is that we have the rights to those murals for at least a year, since we've kind of upfronted the artists for their time. And so we do potentially have the possibility of finding additional walls and putting up more murals, because we've already been through the selection process for these artists at least, which, you know, could be pretty awesome, frankly, because there's some pretty awesome murals, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Yeah, I think Wendy is probably actually more on top of the downtown stuff than I am at this point, because she's pounding the pavement with Adam. I've been pleased to see people using our outdoor spaces downtown. I see people eating lunch at the picnic tables. I see, you know, people enjoying that little alley over by Campbell's has become quite a little, I mean, it's fun looking over there, quite frankly. I saw people using the kind of bourbon barrel tables the other day, just propped up with a laptop and, you know, can of soda from Campbell's, and exactly the kind of stuff that we want to see downtown. So I'm pretty excited that people are responding to that. We've got some more stuff coming. I think, you know, Adam's not out of ideas miraculously. I don't know when he's sleeping. I think he's not sleeping. So, you know, we'll see what's coming through. We have been getting a lot of complaints about motorcycle noise downtown and motorcycles kind of lingering and rubbing their engine and drag racing down Albert Street. So that's been kind of a side project with our police force, brainstorming some ideas of ways to kind of discourage that behavior, because it makes it a little less pleasant in our downtown areas. And we really want people to stay and linger. So that has, yeah, that's kind of a little side project. Graduate is opening, anticipating MSU-FCU breaking ground sometime in the foreseeable future. I don't think we have a actual date yet, but I've been told that it's likely to occur, sometime, which is much closer than I had heard before. Had a great time dedicating the greetings mural this afternoon. That was super fun to see some of you guys, hug some of you guys. And yeah, I think exactly what Abby said, the response from the community has just been frankly kind of I'm kind of used to people having strong opinions about public art, either for or against. And so far, everybody seems to love this one, which is, I guess that was the whole intent of the mural, was for it to be lovable, right? And it's happening. So looking forward to seeing some of the selfies posted from that today. That'll be really fun. It was a good crowd. I didn't get any cookies, but I'm not bitter about it very much, but a little bit maybe. Anything else that I can enlighten you guys about?
The motorcycles, I've noticed them too. I don't know what's happening, but the music, I don't know how they're listening to music so loud. And then anyway, I support motorcycles. There seem to be an increased number.
There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of them with very souped up mufflers, or what's the opposite? How do you take a muffler and make it an anti-muffler? I don't know. And they're real loud. So that's gonna be interesting. We'll see. We're gonna change some of the signage. I think some of those 15-minute loading zones, we're gonna assign them more specifically for being Grubhub pickup zones and rideshare zones. See if that kind of discourages people from lingering in those areas. I mean, it's a little bit hard to anticipate every way in which people will try to get around your good intentions. So we'll just kind of find out as we implement some of these strategies, if any of them actually take hold. Herding cats and herding motorcyclists is perhaps, similar metaphors.
Absolutely. Any questions for Jesse about the amazing work all of the work that's being done in City Council? No. Excellent.
Okay,
staff
cool.
report.
Quick side note, Ben, I noticed somebody shared a Google Earth view with me of the front of my store, and there's somebody doing a crazy yoga stretch up against the, they're leaning on the pedestal there. So I'm pretty actually excited to see that. It kind of triggered my mind of oh, this is gonna be fun to see all of the figures downtown. So I'm looking forward to it. But I'm also real short on battery, and I can't find my power cord, so I will probably disappear shortly, but my heart will still be with you. So
thank you. Well, we'll keep you for as long as we can get you. Heather?
Yeah, so a few quick things that were actually brought up. I didn't have an update, but some responses to things that you all have said. So Pincana, I know that they're still working on their sculpture because I keep getting emails about it from code enforcement. They were working on the setback situation from the street, from their neighbors, whatever. I saw an actual picture of a foundation in the ground, but I haven't seen any photos of the actual art. So I know they're moving in that direction. It's a bummer they're not communicating with you about that though.
Yes, I do. I mean, I do have an image of what was proposed, the proposal that was accepted. I just don't have the go ahead from them to share it with anybody.
Yeah.
But maybe I could send it to Heather so she can circulate it.
Yeah, we could do that.
I've tried emails and phone calls for months, so I don't know what's going on. But good to know they're still working on it.
Yep. Thanks for all your work there, Abby. Tim Mccaffrey, who is my supervisor, he's the director of Parks and Recreation. He is retiring and his last day is June 11th. If anybody had any ties to Parks and Rec, that's a big change. He's been with the city for 25 plus years. And he actually started the Parks and Rec program. It was nothing and he's created everything that it is. So I'm here because of him. The art festival is moving along smoothly. We are pretty, we're, let's say, over 75% to our fundraising goal. I'm sending out my final sponsor postcard mailing next week, and we'll get to the top of that goal there. I'm pretty excited about that. And then as of this morning, we learned in staff meeting that we should be doing Zoom meetings like this for commissions through at least the summer, and then likely fall, but as of right now, definitely through summer. So you guys you can stay in your backyards and relax, and we'll look forward to Karen's popcorn in the fall.
There you go. Right. Yeah, they're missing my business. So Heather, I wanted to just jump on with your comments about the art festival.
Mhm.
So probably most of you, if you heard, maybe you didn't, but Ann Arbor has canceled their summer art fest again for the second year in a row. So, you know, we may draw bigger crowds in August for people who are hungry for an art fair festival. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous. I mean, Ann Arbor's festival is like 4 times as big as ours, so it totally
Right.
makes sense that they wouldn't be comfortable with that. And we've about halved ours this year on purpose. And yeah, we'll see. I had a whole social distancing plan in place. I hadn't put it on paper yet, but now with all of these changes, I don't think it's required. So I've got to figure out what all the changes are and make them accordingly. But thankfully I have some time. The East Lansing Farmers Market opens June 6th. It's every Sunday, June through October. I won't see you again until after it starts, so I'll just make that announcement. And then Jesse was really proactive, and we already have an interview for a arts commissioner to fill Laura's spot. So that interview is on Thursday, and you'll likely meet that person next month at next month's meeting. So those are the updates I have today.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. Jesse found me, and so I'm excited about the next person and hopefully getting to meet them.
Do we
All
know
right.
what the person's name is, or is that still?
We
Right.
keep it under wraps, unless Heather, we keep it under wraps until they're confirmed. But interviews are happening this week, I believe, or next week, early next week. Yeah. So it's, as you know, a rigorous interview process that everyone goes through. Any other questions for Heather? Thanks. All right, communication from the audience. I don't know if we have any communication from the audience, Liam.
There is no one sitting other than who we have waiting to talk about the Burcham Hills and our artist for the mural. So when we get to them, I will promote them to panelists so they can speak.
Awesome. Great. Well then, since we can always revisit it, choose to revisit it later if anyone does come into our audience. Moving forward. All right, then let's move on to business items. The art selection panel recommendation for the downtown mural. Heather, take it away.
Yeah, so I will actually hand it over to Ndubisi Okoye. He was selected as the artist for the mural. The art selection panel chose him to recommend to you. So he knows this, and it's important to make sure that you all know that it's a recommendation and you approve the final okay for this mural for this artist. So I'll let him give his presentation. You can ask him questions, and then he'll go away and you can chat and make your decision, and definitely feel free to ask me questions at any time too. So go for it.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you for letting me in on your meeting, and obviously for making me the recommended artist for this project. I guess we can skip down to page 14 again. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I'm an artist working across the country, but specifically my focus is the Michigan area and Detroit specifically. And for this mural, I got the pleasure of even learning about Dr. Robert Greene, because I hadn't heard of him before. This icon, honestly, that had an impact on my education personally, that I didn't even know. So I named this mural after a lot of all of the information I learned about him by reading his book, At the Crossroad of Fear and Freedom. In like the first chapter of the book, he was talking about how when he first saw the Dr. King monument, he said it was first class, meaning it was like the top of the snuff, like it was the greatest thing he had ever seen, the country like recognizing one of his greatest heroes. So I named this mural that exact same name because I feel like it's the same thing here. Like we're honoring one of the greatest leaders in our area and most likely the country, because of all of the impact of the work he's done. So I thought it was just only fitting that he gets that first class mural as he was looking upon his hero. So all of the references and stuff I pulled specifically from his life and legacy of the work he's done. I put a little nod to Detroit in the top left corner. If you look at it, 313, that's our area code. He's from Detroit. I'm from Detroit. I thought it was a nice little nod. And all the pieces around him are about his legacy. If you go from the most broad and most, I guess, vague-ish reference, it will be the silhouette that's around the entire piece. If you look at it for a while, you'll see that it's a silhouette of Dr. King and Coretta Scott King, two of his major influences and friends later in his life, who he's lived with and interacted with for a very long time. So I wanted to give a homage to them subtly, and we discussed in the last presentation, like making them a little more deliberate, so you can get it that there is MLK and his wife. So that's what I'm gonna do in the next round, pending approval. As you get closer in, you see like the greens and the blues and the yellows, and I wanted the color theory of the piece to be an ode to what Dr. King said to him, to be calm, patient, and think when he's in tense situations. Also stated in his book. So I wanted to make the mural look very calming and very tranquil. But also I wanted to pop so you could see it and want to learn more about this person that you're viewing, and think about the mural more generally speaking. And if you look on the left and right, outermost points, you see a football, which is a reference to his time advocating for athletes in the Big Ten Conference and the justice work he did there. And on the opposite side, a tennis ball to represent the work he did to help end apartheid in South Africa with Arthur Ashe. So it was and because they were friends, I thought that was a good little nod. And above that, it's a kind of overt nod to Michigan State, because he's an alumnus, of course, a former dean, an esteemed alum at this point. So I thought it was only fitting, if it's in East Lansing, to put a reference to the school that loved him and that he loved so much. And on top of that, I wanted him to be the focus and the focal point of the mural. So I put him smack dab in the middle with his name, so people could like Google him, look him up, and learn more about him, like I had the pleasure of doing. So yeah, it was just a great opportunity. This was a great opportunity to learn more about someone that I had never heard of, but had a tremendous impact on me personally, but my city, and more broadly speaking.
Amazing. Thank you. I didn't know if you were pausing or in the presentation. Thank you so much for coming and for sharing this with us and walking us through where we are right now. Commissioners, do you have questions for the artist? Or comments?
I'll jump in. I think this is amazing.
Yeah.
Great. I have a comment and a question. you have packed in the visualization of an extraordinary amount of history that spans many decades. And I can imagine the gravity, trying to kind of encapsulate the gravity of Dr. Green's work must have been a daunting task, but also an honor, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said I forgot. I left out a crucial part. The black and white areas is kind of an overt nod to him integrating East Lansing. He added more color, literally, and there's also more parts across the country and even in East Lansing, the city, that need to be have more color, if you will. So that I forgot about that nod in there as well. As you was talking about the history and his legacy, I thought that was an important part to bring up. But yeah, thank you for the kind words too. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, sure. I have one question, and then I have one concern. My question is there any specific type of feedback you'd like to receive?
Whatever feedback you got, honestly.
Okay. I didn't have anything. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
I like to ask artists that because sometimes I tend to ramble unnecessarily, and I don't want to do that. Here's my concern, and if you could can you put the image back up? Okay, so this is both a good thing and it's a good problem to have. So just like I was saying, that you've packed in so much history and information, and you've visualized it really well. Basically, every inch of this thing represents a piece of the history from Dr. Green or his impact, and I think that's fantastic. My concern is that that will be lost without an extraordinary amount of explanation. And so I'm wondering if there is a way or a mechanism. It would be a shame if people saw this and absorbed it and thought, that's good, that's pretty, and then, oh, maybe I'll stop at Target, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
I'm wondering if there's a way that viewers can learn more about what you've done and why, because that is as important as the piece itself, right?
Yeah.
If people could understand all of those things that you just explained to us, I think it would have a profound impact. And not to say, and this is subjective, so you can say like, no, I'm not going to do this, not my style. Totally cool. But you have my full support. But I guess it's just, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's cool. On the last round, we were Heather and the team were talking about like doing some type of QR code or something that gives you more information about Dr. Green or something like that to incorporate in the piece. And I'm down to do something like that. Because my thinking is the mural is about him. So I want people to know more about him and want to know more about the work he's done. So if I need to put a QR code on it or something like that so people can learn more about him, or some type of plaque somewhere, I can do whatever. I'm open to it for sure.
I guess that's what I was thinking too, is that, the more people learn about Dr. Green, and especially through the work you did or you're about to do, I think it's just really important. So, I feel like Laura's about to say something. You want to? No, okay.
Always. I'm always about to say that. No, I think that's great. Abby had raised her hand. I think the QR code. My dream, since I interviewed to be on this commission, was that we would have a way for people to interact with each piece and hear something from the artist via QR code or a link on our website. So I love everything about that. Abby?
I did raise my hand, but I saw that Austin had unmuted before, so I don't want to jump in line if Austin had comments as well.
Oh, my general comments were, first and foremost, great work. love it. To piggyback off of what the conversation has moved into, I mean, I think that, yeah, if you were to put, like, if we incorporated some way to link perhaps even to your website, like if you had all of this on your website with the way that you so eloquently put your inspiration behind the mural, and then even more if you had a, you know, learn more about Dr. Green's legacy, blah blah blah. But yeah, how would the best way to get folks to get there in the first place be? Because I wonder, I mean, I feel like if you had to like paint a QR code up there, I don't know how finicky or how specific they have to be for them to scan correctly. So I don't know how we would do that when it's so high up in the air.
Yeah, it's very specific when you paint QR codes. I usually use stencils if I do something like that. So maybe I should paint a link, because all my murals, all my past work I've done, I do like very extensive explanations on my website about the inspiration and stuff like that. And sometimes I even do videos. So maybe I could just put a link to like the inspiration and his legacy, like some examples of how you can learn more about his legacy. So yeah, I think that's cool.
Abby?
Let me put my hand down. Mr. Okoye, thank you so much for your submission on this mural. I was blown away by your portfolio of work and was just so excited that you were interested in this mural. I had an opportunity to watch the art selection panel's discussion over selecting you as their recommendation, and I agree with their thinking. So you have my support as well. But in looking in the mural, I was wondering if you had, you read Dr. Green's book, amazing, and your mural encapsulates his whole life. But I don't feel right now that it encapsulates his impact specifically on East Lansing. And I was wondering if you had been given access to the presentation made by Elaine Hardy, Ron Bake, and the Dr. Green commission, essentially, or the committee that was trying to sort of tell the legacy of his impact in East Lansing, about how, you know, he was the first Black man to own a house here in Lansing, East Lansing, that he was the first under President Kennedy's executive order to ban housing discrimination, that he was the first to sue and win, and that happened in East Lansing. And so I'm wondering if you would be open in the revision process to trying to incorporate telling more specifically the story of Dr. Green's impact on our city.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to that. And I think awesome. I did get that presentation. I got a lot of information.
Yeah, so I'm sure. There's a lot to learn about Dr. Green, which is why it's so exciting that we're doing this, and so exciting that we have such an amazing artist to do this mural for us. Thank you. That was my comment.
Thank you, Abby. Ben?
Thank you. So NWC, I think, you know, I think we should hire you for about 10 more of these. I think this mural could potentially be, you know, like 10 murals, right? One for the Arthur Ashe, one for the impact on East Lansing, right? One for the, you know, I just think it's great. I had another call. I'm sorry. I had another call. I'll have to come back.
Okay.
But I'll just stop talking and say, well done and thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Responses, feelings, questions for the artists? We're going to discuss this as a group. We'll have a discussion afterwards, but did you have any more questions, Gabby?
Hi. I just also wanted to chime in and say thank you so much for working with us, and thank you for all of your hard work on this. I think that what your mural, at least the draft that I've seen, looks absolutely amazing, and I'm just really, really excited that you're willing to work with us. So thank you so much, and I'm just really excited about this. So
yeah, most definitely. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Anyone else? Karen?
Well, I don't have anything more to say except to go along with every other comment that was made. I think it's a beautiful rendition of Dr. Green's legacy in a very unique way. I love the black and white, not yet finished add-on. I think that's hopeful for our city. So thank you. It's beautiful.
Thank you guys. You guys live in an amazing city. The more I learned about it, I was like, do I want to move to East Lansing? I was like, nah, I can't leave Detroit. I got to stay in Detroit. But yeah, you guys city and the work you guys are doing is amazing.
Amazing. I love all the colors. There's so many colors. Downtown needs something other than gray and orange. Navy blue. We got a lot of navy blue too. Amazing. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? Yes, Barbara.
Yeah, I would just say that it's an interesting day because earlier today we saw the completion and the dedication of a mural that we've been working on for some time now. And now we're ready to start this next one. And certainly it's a striking piece of work. And I love it, just as everybody else has identified it. It's really good. I think there's great opportunity here, but this is a great day for murals.
Absolutely.
And a great day for the commission as a whole. Well, thank you so much for joining us as part of the panel and talking us through this amazing piece of art. Maybe we can grab coffee when it's safe in Detroit, since I will now be down there too. And then we can come back and toast this mural. Hopefully, if we decide to do that through the final approval. Thank you so much. Did you have anything else you wanted to communicate with the people listening today or with the commission?
No, I think I stated everything.
All right. Okay, well then I will, oh, sorry, Heather.
Really quick before you let him go, I just want to let you know that I will let you know the commission's decision in a quick email tonight, but then we'll, assuming it's yes, because it's looking that way, we'll touch base next week and talk details then.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, commission, do we want to talk through some feelings, some thoughts? I know we had a lot of really wonderful responses to this. I do want to acknowledge that this does not hit all of the things we had requested with the focus on Dr. Green. So I do want to acknowledge that and bring that up for discussion at some point as well. Ben?
Can you tell me which things did he not cover?
I think we were looking for more of a broader look originally, not knowing. I think it was looking for a little bit more of a broader look. I don't have the art.
It's in the memo. Liam, can you share again? I'm pretty sure I put it in the memo. If you click, yeah. Vision for the project. I was going to highlight it as if I have control.
Okay. Okay. I see your point. You know, I mean, if there was a criticism, you know, I kind of hinted at it. Of course, it's not much, but if there was a criticism, you could argue that the work is trying to do a bit too much. He's covering a lot of bases all at once, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it is like that's a butting off a lot. And I wasn't kidding about the 10 murals. I mean, that's 10 murals worth of information. If it is a historical kind of reference and a historical, you know, nod, I think we may want to think about how are we going to get all of that information out to the public? You know, is there going to be some sort of campaign, some sort of grand opening, a series of press releases, you know, covered by the news, the newspaper, the whole thing, Twitter, Instagram, I don't know. But it'll have to be recurring, you know. I just worry that, I just think it would be such a shame if people didn't absorb the entirety of what he's trying to do. And that's a big ask because he's doing a ton. He's asking the work to do a lot, basically.
Sure. Did anyone want to respond to Ben before we go to Allie? Gabby?
I think I remember maybe about a year or two ago when I first joined the commission, we were kind of talking about maybe having a virtual art tour around the city. And I'm not sure, I think it kind of got pushed maybe to the back burner a little bit, but if we wanted to look at that again, I think that might be a really good way to have this mural on a map that people can go to, and then have that be a way for people to get more information. So that would be an option for adding a way for people to get more information, or if we had the stenciled QR code, that could also work, or if we put something on the website, that could work. Like you mentioned, Ben, the press releases, I think that could work. I think there are a lot of different ways that we could be able to get the information out, and so I don't think that that should necessarily be a reason why we don't go forward with it, just because there are a lot of avenues that we can go down, and I think that it is cool to have such a in-depth contextual sort of mural. I think speaking to the part about having a broader focus, I was a little surprised when I first saw the mural too, because I did think that we were maybe going towards the broader focus, but I really like what he did with it. And so I think if we did want to change our focus and narrow it down a little bit more, I think that I really like this mural and I really like the proposal. So I'm very happy with this.
Thanks, Gabby. Allie?
I thought I'd get my words in so I can hide myself and eat my plate of food that's sitting here. So I know, first of all, when we first talked about expanding it, I remember asking the question, is the plan to make it just about Dr. Green or to make it about the whole history? And when I asked that, I was by no means saying it had to be about the whole history. I don't think we need to overwhelm the project. And I agree that I like that it has his name on it and it's focused on him and it makes it easy for people to look him up. So I support it as it, in the general theme that it is on that one side. Another just quick thought is that if I think it's also on us to tell some of the stories of the murals, not necessarily the artist's job to do that. And so I just want to put it out there that if you need support in video, recording the artist and creating stories for them, I have the gear and ability to help with that. That is something that you so desire, to include artist videos on the website. But I think that is on us to create the back end of that, and it may be just on him to put the link on there. And now I'm going to hide myself.
Amazing. I love this offer as well. Austin?
I know we had talked prior about the Percent for Art funded things and all of the art things in East Lansing having plaques. And I know that this is going to be a bit too high to have a plaque all the way up there, but if we had something at ground level that would also we would bolt it into the wall, but it would also be incorporated. We could have that QR code or whatever we would like to do, and the offer of me helping to design the plaques or whatever is obviously still standing.
All this art commission love is making me so happy. Barbara and then Karen.
Yeah, I was going to say the timing seems right for something that kind of focuses on Dr. Green, in that the city is doing some other things, the neighborhood, the park, or the open area across the street from his home. And then the school board is looking at what they need to do if they want to change the name of the school. And so it seems to me that there'll be other things going on at the same time we're starting this, that deal with bringing Dr. Green to perhaps become a better, well-known citizen of the community than he's perhaps been in a while anyway.
Which is amazing. That's a great point that we're wrapping it in with the other Dr. Green tributes that are coming through. Karen?
I was just going to tag on to the discussion that we had about, you know, having the plaques and having information about other public art in East Lansing. And, you know, if you look at the greetings tour mural today, you can just sort of take it for what it is, or you can try to learn more. Like, people aren't necessarily going to know that the history of the Broad, and who donated the money for the Broad, and who the architect was. You know, there's so many things that we can do with that postcard. You know, people may not understand why is there Native American stuff in the middle of it. And, you know, so we do have an obligation to try to get more information out for people to be able to access. And we have the technology to do that now. We don't have to just print off little maps and you know, guides to East Lansing city art. We can use the technology that's available to us.
That's a great point. All the Easter eggs, that article that had all the Easter eggs in it. And I was like, I'm not even going to read this because I know what they are. Years. Teta, thank you, Teta. Abby?
Just sort of wanted to echo everyone's sentiments, and specifically Allie's, saying that, you know, it's on us as an arts commission to do to long-term work on doing a better job of telling the story of art in East Lansing. So I mostly just asking if we could steer the conversation back to the actual artist and what we think about it, or like, is it okay to just make the motion and table a discussion about how we're going to promote the work later?
Sure. I wanted to bring up one more point before we did that. Just, I feel my responsibility as chair is to do so. We are talking about a person who is living, correct? Yes. Okay. So I just want to acknowledge that we're talking about a person who is living
and Dr. Green come to the dedication.
Dr. Green doesn't live here anymore, does he?
No, I think he's in Vegas or Nevada somewhere.
Yeah. Fancy. Okay, great. So did anyone else have any other comments, questions, or any concerns before we come to a motion?
Sorry, just one other thing is that I would encourage everyone on the commission to watch the video of the art selection panel discussion, because it was really interesting to hear their thought process around it, and also their support for all the other murals designs that we have, that we own now for a year, and start thinking about what we can do with those other designs as well. I think that this is the right artist and the right mural for that wall. But I would love to see how we can incorporate other work, specifically Dustin's, whose last name I can't remember, but his panel is very Dr. Green related as well, and featured Mural codes and, you know, sort of a scavenger hunt of learning about Dr. Green. And so he brought forward a lot of great ideas that we could incorporate into, you know, packaging this mural as well. So that's all.
Awesome. Heather, do you remember Dustin's last name off the top of your head?
Hunt.
Hunt? Okay.
Yep. And on that note, Abby, I was actually gonna say, after you make your vote, I was gonna see what your thoughts were on putting those other 3 murals, a discussion about those 3 murals on a future agenda, so we remember not to forget.
Awesome. All right. So do we feel comfortable talking about, do we feel comfortable bringing this to a vote? All right. Would someone like to motion to make a vote? I think we have to phrase it, right? Or can I do
a motion?
Yes. Okay. Let's go.
There's a sample one on the agenda, but obviously you don't have to follow that one exactly.
I'm gonna read it, Heather. I got it right here in front of me.
All right. Sorry.
So great that you put that there. So I move to contract with Ndubisi Okoye, I hope I said that correctly, to develop and implement their mural design on 218 Albert Ave, East Lansing, Michigan, 48823, using $40,000 from the Public Art Fund.
Awesome. Do we have a second?
I, Allie Sierra, everyone. I, Allie Sierra, second.
Amazing. All right, all in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Wendy is gone, but we're gonna mark her as an abstention. All opposed, say nay. All right, well, the ayes have it. We have a brand new muralist and a brand new mural in East Lansing. Congratulations. Huge shout out to the Art Selection Committee for their hard work. And gosh, and really that whole redesign, redo of the whole process. I think this speaks wonders to the future. And let's find some more walls to put stuff on. All right, Heather, do we want to continue to speak about this, or do you want to go into the ordinance, or one day I'm going to say that word right, ordinance 1339.
You can go right into the ordinance 1339.
There you
go. Burcham Hills is added quite a bit to their properties. And they're getting to the end where they need their certificate of occupancy. So they have a mixture of purchased, created just for them, and donated art that they are going to be installing throughout the grounds of the new development. And they're really excited. They're here. There's two representatives here today, Todd and Sarah, I believe. And they'll tell you everything you need to know about it. But I got to participate in one of their panelists, or what did they have? A committee, their art committee. So they had future residents select these art pieces. So it was really cool to hear them all talking and the passion and excitement that went along with that. So this is one of the exciting projects that we get to work on. Another one, you know. So Liam, if you want to let them in, and they have a whole presentation. Oh, you're here. All right. I'll let you take it over. And again, if you have any questions for me throughout this whole thing, just let me know. But it's all up to you all now.
Well, thank you very much for having us here this evening. We really appreciate being a part of this and getting a chance to present a little bit for you. I'm going to talk a little bit about the project itself, and I am one of the marketing counselors on the project and have been involved in the development along the way. And then I will turn it over to Todd, who will talk a little bit about the art pieces themselves and where they're going to be placed. We had developed our own little mini art commission, our art committee, from current residents that are here living in our what we call our residence center, our main building, as well as our condos that are on site. And Burcham Hills, for those of you who don't know, has been part of this community since 1974. And it wasn't formed by a corporation or anything along those lines. It was formed by actual community members for the retirement needs of our elders as they aged. And our mission statement has always been dedicated to the journey of life. Our expansion is expanding upon that dedication and that journey. It's aimed for active early retirees and people who are what we call independent living. So these apartment homes are made for the modern needs of those who are on their retirement journey. And it's very much aimed for vibrant, independent living. And it's also what's called an entrance fee community. So the members, the people who move in to this building, who our first ones will be called our charter members, they're making a choice for the rest of their lives. Their home doesn't just provide shelter. It doesn't just provide a house that they live in. It provides a guarantee of care as they age and as things change throughout the course of their lives. So they're making a decision for where they will want to receive care, no matter what happens to them as they age down the road. This particular program and style of living is popular throughout the rest of our state and the rest of our country. And when we were researching what we wanted to do for an expansion, we discovered that many people were leaving the East Lansing area who've spent 40, 50 years or their entirety of their lives here to find this type of retirement living. We were losing them to Novi, to a community over there that's the largest in our state called Fox Run. We were losing our elders to Grand Rapids, to Beacon Hills and other communities there. So we were losing them to Florida and Arizona and the retirement states. So the purpose of this building is to let people continue where their roots are and to deepen their roots here. And as an extension of that community, we try to use local vendors. We try to have partnerships with others who are from this area. Mayotte Group Architects, obviously, where Todd is from, is a locally based company. Our contractor is the Christman Company that's been in Lansing for over 100 years. And the artists that we've selected are all primarily local artists as well. So it's that continuity of community. And many of the people who live here, as they progress further in their lives and start needing care, aren't necessarily people who are able to get downtown to see the beautiful art installations like the mural that you're discussing today. They aren't necessarily able to get out and about and experience the art festival. So bringing pieces from those artists here, one kind of continues that experience they've had living in East Lansing all their lives, surrounded by this art, and then also gives them that connection as well to that beauty and that art and those conversations as they carry on in their lives. So with all that said about our development that we are putting together, I will now turn it over to Todd to share more about the spaces where these pieces will go and what we have proposed.
Thanks, Sarah Kate. My name is Todd Gute, and I'm an architect, or I'm the president of Mayotte Group Architects here in Lansing. And I have waited for about 3 years for this meeting. Some of you may recall about 3 years ago when we initially were proposing this, I came and talked with you about art placement and development. And in fact, we adopted Teda as a representative from you, and we worked with her for quite a while until she moved to a different commission. The development in our discussion 3 years ago centered around the courtyard and the fact that it is an open public courtyard that a number of the local residents neighborhood in the Burcham Park Lake area use this as a walking track. And so my optimistic architect hopes 3 years ago was with the $25,000 budget that we had, that we may be able to pick up a couple of really good pieces to put in this courtyard, although we planned for multiple installations. Since then, as a result of really your ordinance that requires us to have a financial commitment and development, that really kick-started a tidal wave of movement within this community, such that we are now proposing 6 pieces tonight as a part of a sculpture garden, as we're kind of calling it. If I may ask just a couple of logistical things, I believe that Liam is operating the screen. Heather, were you able to download the updated submittal that I sent this afternoon, or is this the original?
I did not receive that. Did you?
Okay, all right.
No, I don't have that. Could you, if you want to hold on a second, you could send it to my Gmail and I can share.
I can also put my email in the comments, send that to you in the chat, and you can email it directly to me.
Or, although it is a larger file, so it
Yeah.
would need to be downloaded. So I don't know if you would be able to download it at the same time that we're talking. But if you do, if you put it in the chat, I can at least try. And I wouldn't need the updated submittal. Is simply some additional pictures of the courtyard as it is today. I happened to be on site this morning, so I took some pictures. All of the hardscape, all of the sidewalk, with one minor exception, is now finished. And I walked around the walkways, and so I actually can point out where these pieces are going. I don't yet see that email address, but let me get started. I will be as brief as my personality allows, and I really am excited about this. So Laura or Heather, if you need to throttle me down, jump in. This first page just gives you some construction photographs of the courtyard that we're creating. The picture on the bottom is a picture from the webcam that you are able to see if you were to go to the Burcham Hills website. You could find the Stonebriar cast, and it would give you this image. There's more concrete today. This is a meandering walkway that has some sidewalks that shoot off of this main walkway that's curved. Liam, can you go to the next page? If we could zoom in just a little bit. This is the plan of the courtyard. There is the building you can kind of see wraps around, and then you can see the very wide curved walkway. That serves two purposes. One, most critically, it is access for fire trucks. So it is wide enough for a fire truck. And they're actually at the end, there is a patio called the Grand Patio. That patio is kind of unusually shaped. It is unusually shaped around the fire truck of being able to turn it around. That also provides a very great promenade for walking, and the residents here, some of them have limited mobility. So this wide walkway gives them ample room for persons. There are a few things going on in this courtyard. We have a playground that we're adding. Generally, that is not for the residents, but there are visitors that come. And again, this is a kind of an open park-like, and we wanted the sound of children. There is also a pine grove. It is kind of in the middle of the page here. And I should say the design of this courtyard, the intent of it was to give all the sights, the sounds, and the smells of Michigan. Therefore, we have a playground. We have a pine grove. We also have a rose garden. We have a perennial garden. We have a koi pond. We have a putting green, of course, and a few other things. Those are in addition to the artwork that we're doing. Liam, if you would go to the next page. This is that same courtyard, except for this will show the artwork. So I will go around and kind of show you the highlighted pieces. There is one piece that we are putting near the front entry. That is on the extreme left side, that image. That is an image that is called The Wave, and that is from Craig Mitchell-Smith here in Lansing. And that is an existing piece. A part of the idea that you had us set aside $25,000. I am not supposed to say this out loud, but we actually put $30,000 in our budget in anticipation that, you know, we wouldn't hit 25,000 right on the dot. And, you know, the arts, we knew we were going to work with an art committee and they were probably going to go over budget. So we anticipated some overage. What we didn't anticipate is because this thing's happening, there was such a groundswell of residents and people interested in this. We've received donations. So we're spending ultimately about $50,000 now. So that piece is going to be set on a concrete pedestal, and that will be the front entry. Again, the journey of life, which is Burcham Hills theme, and then my personal theme of the sights and smells of Michigan. These are our waves. And then if we move to the right, the next picture of the granite stone, this is a piece from Rick Harrington. It is polished North Dakota mahogany granite. It is known, when you look at it, I've seen it, it has the edge is polished and then the center is more textured. This piece does have a name. This is being donated by one of the residents. They do not want us to title this piece because they would rather people see what they see in this piece. So this is being placed on the main promenade, and it is opposite the Rose Garden. And the Rose Garden, these colors are very reflective of the Rose Garden. So we're excited about that. This piece the picture is shown on a wood pedestal, but again, I'm doing everything in concrete and steel to last. So this will be on a concrete pedestal. It'll be 18 inches off the ground. And we are putting a light in front of this piece. And there's only one light, and it'll be from the promenade side pointing to the stone. Moving next, the next piece over. This is a piece that's being created specifically for this courtyard. We did an art solicitation for artists, and we two of the pieces are being created for Burcham as a part of the art selection. Again, those were the two I had hoped to be able to bring to you, and then that started a cascade of all these other things. This is a piece by Andrew Sandstedt here in Old Town. He's a winner of some of the Scrap Fest things, and he likes to work in metal. He is doing a stainless steel piece that is going to be heated stainless steel, so that brings out colors within the stainless steel, and it is going to be modeled after an oversized hosta plant. And it is kind of at the apex of the intersection of two sidewalks, and it is also off the promenade. It is going to be about 4 feet high. It will not only have very broad leaves, but it will also have some flowers in the center. This photograph is a photograph of something similar he's done, but he is making a piece for us. So he doesn't have a photograph of it because it is still being fabricated. The next piece over on the far extreme right is our whimsical piece. This is going to be placed alongside the playground. This is, we can debate whether this qualifies as art. We're only counting it as worth, I think about $500. So we're not counting it as significant art, but it's a very whimsical weather vane piece. This is the only thing that was created really outside of our region, and this is a piece by Will Case from Suttons Bay. And we just thought it would be kind of fun to have something fun in the kids' play area. If you'll go down the page, these are a couple of, I think for me, really significant pieces. In this courtyard, in the middle of the pine grove, there is kind of a turquoise highlighted gazebo. The gazebo is set on a little bit of a knoll, and it's about 2 feet above the promenade, so it's not a significant height increase. But there's a little pathway that winds through the pine trees to the gazebo. And in that pathway, we are placing this Mark Chatterley piece that is titled Al and Kay, a couple. And for me, this has a lot of emotion. And this is, we have not put this on the promenade. We have made this kind of a discovery piece that one discovers when you explore the offshoots of the main walkway. And this, for persons who either are an elder couple or a widow or a widower, I think this evokes some very strong emotion for them. So we're very excited to have this piece in for Mark Chatterley. And then the last piece, and I really didn't plan it this way, but it just happens. The last piece, which is here on the left, is a sketch. This is also a piece that is being created for Burcham Hills. This is probably the highlight of our sculpture garden here in the courtyard. This is a piece that's entitled Meander. It is a formed stainless steel base with glass pieces attached to the stainless steel. So really it's the glass that is the feature. And the glass, the colors are to be blues, aquamarines, and turquoise. And Craig Mitchell-Smith identified this as a river, which while we have a koi pond lake in our courtyard, we did not have flowing water. Well, we have a waterfall, but this kind of covers the river of Michigan. This initial piece, his initial design was for a 10-foot high single piece. The commission was so excited about this, we've asked him to do 3 of these. And this will also be located at kind of the apex of an intersection right off of the promenade. And this is going to be, as you're coming around corners walking, this will be the centerpiece, and there will be vistas pointing to this. So those are the pieces that we are proposing. I do have to beg for some forgiveness or some help. Our project is intended to be finished, is currently scheduled to be finished in September. Craig Mitchell-Smith also submitted this piece as a part of an art show, and he was awarded to lease or display this piece for an art show, and it is for Dow Gardens up in Midland. And so he is committed to having this piece through October 15th. So I know that we are expected to have all of our art completed by the building completion, but we will not be able to take that piece from Dow Gardens until October 10th. So we would beg for some forgiveness of allowing us to install this piece after we potentially have put in or had our certificate of occupancy. And we are scheduling residents to move in. I think there's only a couple every week or so, so there's not significant residents. We would have our bases. This piece will also be illuminated with 3 lights, so I can do a triangle around them, so I illuminate it from all directions. But our base will be in place. The piece will be installed. You can go see it. It just won't be on our site until after October 15th. If you would just skim the next pages. I was not able to send that email, and it is a fairly sizable file, so it'll take a little bit of time to download. So what I can do, Heather and Liam, is after we are finished, I will resend that. And because you may share that with the committee, because I do have ground level walking. I know I read drawings very quickly and easily, but I know the average person does not read drawings very well. So hopefully I've explained things well enough to you tonight that when you see that, see the additional pictures, I very crudely, because I took the pictures today, so I crudely with Adobe kind of noted where the pine grove is. I kind of drew in a box where the gazebo is and identified where the art would go so that you can see it, and the walkways are there, so that you can kind of see the walkways and see some of the vistas or focus points as you're walking around. Just as an explanation, if you do open it, I start from Lena Keith Drive, which is the drive that goes around Burcham Hills. So I see it, you see the pictures going from the public walking into the courtyard. I walk all the way through the courtyard, and then I turn around and I walk back out, so that you can kind of see the different pieces. So with that, I will be happy to entertain any questions. And if I can't answer them, Sarah Kate will answer them. So thank you, Liam, by the way, you did well.
Thank you so much. Ben, I see your hand up.
Hi, Sarah Kate and Todd, thank you. For me, I've spent much of my career dealing with public art, and I have to say that what you've chosen and the way you've placed it was incredibly thoughtful, and I think these pieces are gonna have a big impact on the residents, and you know, I applaud you. I think this is great. Just out of curiosity, I have one question. What is the material used in the Chatterley piece? I can't quite tell.
I believe that's ceramics, but it has that really aged patina color, which is just, you know, I've seen this, and it just has that really aged. If I said cranbrook,
yeah, oh yeah.
What I'm saying, it had a very cranbrook look to it.
Great. I think, yeah, I really like that one, especially the fact that it's kind of buried a little bit and maybe off the beaten track or beaten path. I think that's I think it's really smart.
Karen?
Thank you. I would really like to applaud the process that you described of involving the residents of Burcham Hills. I think that it's their home, and I'm really pleased to hear that they were involved in the selection process. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes, it was a lot of fun with the different folks who were involved, very much so. And we also incorporated one of our incoming residents as well was also involved. So representing those who are already planning to move in as well.
One of the criteria that they had asked of the artists, which resulted in the Craig Mitchell Smith piece and its placement, is that there are some residents that can't go outside. So a part of the art needed to be visible and enjoyed from inside. And so again, if you see the pictures in the walk, there's a 2-story portion of building. The upper floor is the scenic dining room, is their dining room. And then the lower floor windows is the main meeting room where they do all of their major events and things. So this piece is going to be right outside that.
Okay. That's amazing. Sorry.
I share that sentiment, and I am not an emotional person, and I do buildings for a living, and they're buildings, you know. But this has just grown, you know, legs of its own.
Amazing, Abby.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump into the Love Fest and thank you for embracing this ordinance and finding the joy and the fun of incorporating art within development. And I applaud you for finding local artists, and the Chatterley piece, as Ben said, is particularly, I just love it. I love Chatterley's work. And so I look forward to visiting and seeing the final thing. And I also just wanted to pipe in and say I have no problem giving you leeway on getting Craig Mitchell-Smith's piece down into the garden. That's fine by me.
Thank you.
For sure. Other questions or comments before we discuss?
Could I ask for a little bit of pushback on the October deadline so that I can offer you potentially a compromise? What if we are not able to install it until after October 15th, but since portions of the building will be occupied and the whole courtyard will be finished, so that will be the last piece that we put in. Perhaps I could offer you a compromise of we'll have a great unveiling and celebration of the courtyard when that last piece is installed. Would that be a fair trade? Because I know you've pushed me pretty hard.
So on that note, actually, I texted my supervisor to see if she could give me what are the rules of this. She hasn't responded yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and make the staff call here. I think as long as we have your schedule, since you're gonna have 5 of 6 pieces installed, you said you're already gonna have your foundation installed. It makes sense to me that as long as we have your commitment in writing, that this isn't going to be an issue at all. I would think it would be an issue if you were not going to have any of them installed before, then that would be a problem. But 5 of 6 seems pretty, like, you probably didn't even need the 6th piece to meet your requirement. So Todd, we'll stay in communication and make sure we get it in writing.
Not a problem. That's easy.
Okay.
And if we give it to you in writing in form of an invitation to opening,
we'll need to sign something. But
Wonderful. Todd, Sarah Kate, did you have anything else for us before we discuss and move forward?
Just thank you again for giving us this opportunity. It really has been a wonderful process on this side, and we hope that you like it and come see it and enjoy it once it's all installed.
Amazing. All right, thank you so much for joining us. We'll pop back to the commission for a moment.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioners, how are we feeling? Yeah, that Chatterley piece, y'all. Ready. I want it now.
It's like a slam dunk.
And then Heather, do we vote? Remind me, do we vote on these officially? It's just mostly check-in though.
Yep. So what you're voting on is it art by a real artist, and does it fulfill the budget requirements for art? Their requirement was $25,000. They included their budget in there. We can take a look at it really quick. I think that even though some of the pieces are donated, they still have to put the foundation in, so they still have some kind of cost contributed to them. But yeah, those are the 3 things that you're voting on. And I did put again, a recommended motion that you don't have to read word for word if you don't want to, but to make it easy, there is one in the memo. But can we look at the budget? I just want to look at it really quick. There we go.
All I see are Karen's fingers and I'm laughing. Just had to share.
Yeah, so it looks like the things that they're spending money on result in art, and our art, and their total bottom line is 51,000, which is well over their requirement. So enough reason for the record why I feel comfortable just putting in writing that last piece will be installed later on.
Cool. So commissioners, thank you for this. Liam, can you take us out for just, you're reading my mind. Commissioners, do you feel strongly enough that we can vote on all three requirements at once, or would you like to break them up into separate pots? That would be hitting the budget. All three of one. All right. Would someone like to formally make a motion? Perhaps the one that was written?
I can.
Karen's gonna,
Karen, I'll let Karen go. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Al, you can do it. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll second
Let's
it.
read it. Okay.
You do it.
All right. I move to approve the art as presented in fulfillment of the Burcham Health % for art requirements as laid out in Ordinance 1339. Did I cover it?
You got it.
Okay.
And I, Karen Jennings, second that motion.
Thank you so much. All right, let's take it to a vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay. All those opposed, say nay. Anyone abstaining? All right, it's approved. We're gonna have some gorgeous art. Ugh, I love that. I love that people can see it from their inside. I love that. Okay. For the sake of time, I'm going to stop gushing about all these wonderful things that have happened in today's meeting and move on to our cultural arts grant review. Heather?
Yeah, so I'll remind you where you left off, and I'll also remind you that it is 7:15 and we have our closed captioner here till 7:30. So keep that in mind. But you revised pages 1 through 3 of the Cultural Arts Grant Guidelines at the last meeting, and those revisions are reflected in the piece that's attached. So pages 4 through 5 are what needs to be reviewed still. You did work June in as a buffer month, so you don't have it releasing until July 1. So you do have time if you would like it. If you do choose to move it to June, I would probably put it on the business agenda so that you can vote to approve the final changes at the same time as you're making the changes. But other than that, we can go forward with that. And then actually one thing I didn't put in the memo was that at one point you had talked about coming up with a rubric for reviewing them, and we don't have that yet, a revised one yet. So that's another thing that you might want to think about moving forward.
I love a good rubric. I love a good rubric. Why don't we do this? Liam, can you pull up page? Do you have access to it? Can we pull up page 4 so we can see how much? Oh, there's a lot of stuff in there. Okay. Then 6. Okay, thanks. So if you go back to page 4, perfect. Okay, I would suggest that we look at getting through page 4 today and then seeing if it can get moved to the June agenda, knowing that June it'll be election of a new chairperson, but I think that's the only major thing on June's agenda.
There's a couple I can actually, thank you, Liam. I can't look at anything else if it's in full screen mode. Let's see really quick. What do I have on the June agenda so far? We are currently looking at, well, I was going to make a request for the Art Festival's People Choice Award. That's quick. Wendy had asked for the Grand River Sculpture base discussion to be on, and that was it. So
awesome. Commission, how are y'all feeling? Do you want to do a little today, move the rest to June? Do you want to move it all to June? Do you want to power through and try to extend the closed captioners?
I like what you proposed, Laura. Let's try to do page 4 today.
Yeah, I have to jump off at 7:30, so I say let's just do what we can and then call it a day.
Awesome, Ben.
Yeah, I got to run at 7:30 on the dot.
Cool. Then let's knock out page 4 real quick, and then we'll recap and adjourn, and this will be for June.
Heather, when we were doing this before, you had the live document and we're making edits rather than me sharing. Do you want to share that again?
Yep, I can do that. I just gotta, I don't have it open right now. I'm sorry that I didn't believe that you all would get this far.
We amazed you.
All right.
We were close to time today, and there were times on it, which we haven't done times in a couple of years.
I know. All right. Let's see. Wait. Recording, live transcript. How do I share again? Where'd the share go?
Green button at the bottom.
Looks like a little box with an
like
arrow.
only neon green button that's at the bottom of my screen.
Yep.
Thanks. Okay.
All right, team. That's not page 4.
Nope.
I was like, I thought it was short. Here it is.
Okay, so for some reason, so this is what my page 4 is.
Oh.
I think that maybe it was including the memo as your page 1, which knocked everything down. But this is what you have that you were looking at to knock out. So we were talking about, so this was the city manager, George Lahanas's official statement. There was discussion about including that or not including that. The final decision was not made, although there was a suggestion to get a quote from Elaine Hardy. I didn't reach out to her for that.
I support a quote from Elaine, or at least a thought from, or a reflection on including this or not.
Okay. And then this other thing is just a comment. I think I'm gonna say that I came up with it as I was typing this out for you to think, something to think about that we need to include. If it was somebody else's idea and I'm taking the credit, just let me know.
Whoever came up with that bullet point, I dig it. And I also second Laura's suggestion, or whoever suggested it in the last meeting, to definitely get a quote from Elaine Hardy for that spot.
Okay. Should I just completely remove George's?
I feel like strike through it, just so we can come back to it. It's not a bad statement. It's just, yeah.
Okay.
Do we decide on the, oh yeah, it's just emailing you, funds will be released. Does this look good to everyone? Does anyone have a major objection or feelings?
Are you looking at, with Heather's bullet, are you looking at putting that above that statement in the bullets, or where would that go? Because I do agree with that too.
I think it would need to go above the statement, because the statement should be last if we're doing it properly.
Okay. So Heather, you can just copy it and move it to like the bottom bullet point there.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Thinking this one.
Yeah. Awesome. Does that look good to everyone? Anyone got any big objections? All right. Maybe we can even look at the first part of the next page if we take 5 minutes, because that's what I'm mentally prepared. All right. Okay, application section A, complete the application included on the back of the packet. I feel like that's a pass. Yeah, great. Narrative can be no longer than 2 single-sided pages. Does anyone have a issue with the length requirement?
Is that something that we've held to? I feel like some applications we've received have been longer.
The budget and support materials make it longer, but
oh, gotcha.
Generally, the narrative is no longer than 2 pages.
Okay.
Can I just come in as like grammar police and make the 2 spelled out? Because it's 1 through like 9 get spelled out.
Yep.
Okay.
I can
That's part of
appreciate
this
that.
thing.
Awesome. Okay. Background. Provide a brief background of your organization or self. Should it be and or self? Do we want if they are part of a organization? Do we care?
It doesn't hurt. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. It makes it more flexible, so it doesn't hurt.
There we go. Any other corrections to B1? All right, B2. Descriptive narrative. It feels pretty standard. Any big objections? Awesome. B3. Target audience. Any big objections?
Sorry, comma after audience.
Ah, yeah.
We're in target audience, right? Oh wait, this audience. There is a comma there. Got it.
Is that the Oxford comma? I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if we're gonna Oxford comma that, we should probably Oxford comma after place in the second bullet if we're sticking stylistically.
Yeah, I love an Oxford comma. So, comma.
Quick side note, we don't use it at work, so it totally throws me off whenever I'm, yeah, I know, you don't even want to hear about the style that we use. It's terrifying.
Freestyle.
Freestyle. I like it, Ben. Okay, artistic/cultural merit.
I feel like this needs a dive into because we've previously sort of discussed, like, for instance, we funded the Kindest Rocks thing. And I remember Megan sort of saying, what is the artistic, high artistic quality or merit, or having just community members paint rocks? But we all agreed that was something we should fund. So do we need to add more to this to say, or that we don't necessarily fund things of high artistic quality or merit?
There's something about.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Laura. Is there something about community building? Go on.
I was going to suggest writing a line here because it is 7:26, and I think that this would actually benefit from a discussion that's not rushed. But I do want to hear what you were going to say. Sorry.
Well, just make a note, maybe. I like something around community building, or somehow it can art as community building or something like that, maybe.
Amazing. Cool.
Just leave a little note for ourselves there.
I love it. Okay, well, if it is okay with the committee, I am going to say that it is 7:27 and we should pause, move forward so that we're together on that. Oh, hold on. Sorry, the tiniest of voices. Okay, with that said, a quick recap is that we will be coming back to this moment. Y'all will be coming back to this moment next in June. Oh, I'm gonna miss spending my Thursday nights with y'all once a month. And that I make the motion to recommend a chair in this meeting? No, okay, didn't think so. Just wanted to double check.
You could put a good word for someone, but there's no formal motions.
I have so many good words for so many of you, but Wendy running everything, especially when I was out and had my baby early, and you just took it and you ran, I would always lend a word for you chairing the Arts Commission, whatever y'all decide as a group next month. Thank y'all for all of this and all the art that happened in this meeting. And once again, Tetta and that greetings tour, because the greetings tour was being talked about when I came onto the commission all those 2 years ago, long time ago. So so it's nice that it's up and on a wall and it was dedicated, and there's a new mural going in, and it's diverse and it's inclusive and it's brightly colored and you can't miss it. So I'm flying high as leaving y'all with all this meeting. And the doorbell. Sorry about that. I'm gonna go ahead and put my email address in the chat, since you only have my MSU one, in case anyone needs to chat with me or wants to chat with me or wants to come down to Detroit and have a cup of coffee. Does anyone have anything else for this meeting? All right, can I have a motion?
Miss you, Laura.
We're miss you. Can I have a
That's
motion to
what you are.
adjourn?
So moved.
Thank
Karen.
you. Anyone second?
Second.
Thank you, Wendy. All right, we're done. It's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining the Art Commission meeting. It is 7:30 on the dot. Let it be known. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks, Laura.
Everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Laura.